You are now listening to Nexxlegacy Radio, a radio station for the people.
Regarding the racial profiling that got over 700,000 hits, man, mama is a beast. So without further ado, we're going to put Miss Crystal on the line. Hello, hello.
Howdy.
What up, ma? How are you? Crystal?
Doing good.
There you go.
I'm here.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Welcome to Ladies Night, Diva. How are ya?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Definitely. My goodness.
Problem.
So, for those who don't know who you are and what you do, let the world know what you're about, ma.
Well, Crystal, I'm a writer. I was born and raised in Wilmington, Delaware. I've been writing since I was 15. It first started out in poetry, and then I started writing books, and I went to film school. I just graduated from that, so I'm writing scripts now.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And I'm just trying to be a part of any and everything. I have a documentary that I'm going to be producing called Walking While Black.
Oh,
with
wait a minute. Go ahead. Okay.
with AJ Ali. So I'm very excited, but it's a lot of celebrities and people that are getting involved in just pretty much telling their stories about racial profiling. Things that they've been through, things that they know other people have been through, and we're going to be going like around the world, various different states, and everyone's going to be telling their story. So it's going to be great.
Oh, well, y'all need to come to Chicago because we got some stories for you, mama. I swear.
We are. You can be a part of it if you want to, definitely.
Oh, absolutely. Girl, yeah. I'm going to give you my number. We definitely need to have a conversation for sure. Oh, absolutely. Because the thing that I know, like in the police district that I'm in, yeah, people of color really didn't have a good relationship with the police. And don't let it be the end of the month now. Whew. That quota?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, absolutely. I know how it is.
Oh, my gosh. So Walking While Black, what made you decide that you were going to take this issue on?
Well, the guy that's doing it, his name is AJ Ali. He's directing. He hit me up when he saw my story about the incident with Cherry and Dennis.
Oh, okay.
He was like, I'm doing this documentary. I read your article. It was amazing. I feel bad for what happened with them. I'm doing a documentary. Are you interested? So I'm like, okay, no problem. I can tell my story about how I wrote the article and when they told me the story and everything. And he's like, no, I want you to produce too. And I'm like, oh,
right?
Okay, I can do that. So I'm very excited.
Well,
wow.
I mean, you have the credentials saying that you just graduated from the area that you wanted to be in, which is producing and all that stuff like that. So this is right in your area of expertise. Now, when, you wrote the article, did you expect it to be, to receive as many reads as it was going to get? Because in Hollywood, you don't hear stuff like this because they all want to, like, cover it up and be all makeup-y and stuff. And this is, like, the first time in a long time that actors and actresses are coming out and saying, no, this is what happened. We're taking a stand. And that's it.
No, I didn't think that it was going to be as big as it was. I actually met Cherry a few years ago, and I used to write for a magazine called Raw Talent Magazine, and I was always a fan of hers. So I reached out to her on Facebook and Twitter, and, I'm sure she thought I was some stalker. And I'm like, I want to interview you for this magazine. I'm a big fan, yada, yada, yada. And, for months, she did not hit me back, but I'm persistent. So I kept hitting her, I want to interview for this magazine. I'm talking about the positive stuff, not the stuff people saying about you with TMZ and all of that.
Right.
And she was like, okay. So I wrote the article for the magazine. It didn't get printed because the editor of that magazine didn't believe that I wrote the article and that I interviewed Cherry.
Wow.
Yeah, so Cherry pretty much, stuck up for me and was like, you don't have to question the integrity of her work. She interviewed me, we talked, and I was like, you know what, Cherry, we're not printing this. And I didn't. I ended up quitting the magazine and everything just because they questioned, my integrity. So
Right.
Wow.
we've been friends since.
Wow.
Pretty much.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what magazine are you writing for in the UK, Miss Lady?
Oh my God, it's called Flawless Magazine. I
Okay.
wrote a couple articles, a couple fashion articles, and I'm not even that fashion savvy, let me tell you. But I worked it out.
Right,
So I
right.
wrote a couple fashion articles,
Listen,
and
I
they
can-
liked it.
nice.
They liked the article. So they, hit me up and was like, we want you back to write some more stuff. So I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. To get my name out in the UK. Yeah, and I don't
Right,
even live over
right.
there.
International coverage.
Like,
Why not?
exactly. I'll take it.
Right,
I
right.
feel you. Okay, first of all, I'll see you in the fashion department because I am quick to throw on basketball shorts and a t-shirt real quick. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
but
I don't care. Jeans and a shirt with some Air One. I'm good.
That's it. That's it.
Yes.
I don't need the extra bling bling and the ching ching. I ain't got to spend over $300,000 on a pair of shoes where I can go to Shoe Carnival and get it for $25.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I
And
agree.
I wear a 4.5. I wear a 4.5, so I'm a Payless girl.
Oh, you good.
I ain't even gonna lie.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Like my
Payless
size
has better
never
quality.
changes, so.
Listen, Payless got better quality of shoes. Anyway, Payless and Walmart. Ooh, hint, wink, wink.
Yes. But when I get dressed up, I do my thing now. When I do put it on, if you right.
We be looking sexy for Jesus. That's right. But so, how did you transition? Like, how do you like transition from writer to producer and all that? Like, how did that flow for you? Because I know, like, a lot of people be like, oh my goodness, I got to drop this to do this, but it seems like it's flowing right in your favor. So how are you going with the current?
Well, I went to film school. I went to Full Sail University, and I got my master's in creative writing. And with creative writing, you learn how to write for TV, you learn how to write for games, you learn how to do animation, and you learn how to write screenplays.
Right.
So there I am getting my hand in everything,
Right.
Which is good because you never know who's hiring or who may want you to do this or do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote my thesis, which is called If It Ain't Broke, Don't Fix It. I wrote it in a month. I wrote my first script in a month. And then by the time that I graduated in June, I already had 2 more scripts completed.
Wow.
And 2 short films, too. So I ended up doing a short film, filmed it in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I was living at the time, and I directed it. And let me tell you, the film's only 10 minutes. It's called Trick or Treat. 10 minutes, but we filmed all day. I was exhausted for a 10-minute film to take all day. Oh, goodness.
People don't realize how long 10 minutes is when you're doing filming.
Yeah, because you have to go over the scenes. The actors have to get it right, and I'm kind of picky. I want you to say it the way I wrote it.
Right. Like, no, you're not going to improvise. We're going to do it this way.
Like,
Exactly.
the script. If I wanted to do an improv shoot, I would have shot you out the improv theater. This is not how it's going to go down.
Exactly.
And then I had a makeup person, and I had a script supervisor, and I had to feed them too. So I'm doing all this stuff. Cooking.
Right.
I'm cooking, running outside, talking about, okay, cut, action. So I'm doing all this.
Wow.
But we had a good time, and even though it was a short, I'm very proud of it. Definitely.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And Crystal Diggs is our guest on Ladies Night Radio. My goodness. So how long have you been writing for CNN I Report, and how in the world did that come about?
Oh, my gosh. I started writing for them in July.
Okay.
Actually, one of my writer friends told me about it. And she was like, why don't you try writing for CNN? And I'm like, do I have to apply? What do I have to do? She's like, no. You put a profile out and you start writing. You write your articles and they put it up and everything. And I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah. So I started writing. I wrote my first article on discrimination. And so many people had so much negative stuff to say. So I'm like, whatever. And then
Really?
I wrote an article. Yeah. And then I wrote an article about the Trayvon Martin case.
Oh, wow.
We got over 500 views, but, it was my opinion. So people were for it and against it, which was no problem. And I wrote a couple of their articles. Mm-hmm.
Listen, I'm all over CNN. So if you see a beautiful chocolate face, Philly the mom, I'm probably commented it. So I'm just saying, I'm all over. Listen, I love reading CNN. I don't CNN is stuff.
I really started to get into it once I started writing articles because I hate looking at the news because it's depressing. Something always going on. Like, we don't talk about positive stuff at all.
My girl.
So
I
just started getting into it.
Right. And then the article with Cherry and Dennis, and it got just massive reviews.
Yes. Once the incident happened, Cherry did a very smart thing. While the incident was going on, she was tweeting what was happening.
Yep. Yes.
And I'm like, what? Oh, my God. Like, this is crazy. And then, her and Dennis called and was like, can you report this? And I'm like, yeah. So Dennis told me his side of the story, and I wrote the article based on his opinion, his truth of what happened.
Right.
And he's like, this can either get really big or people will not pay attention to it, but we're going to blast it. And I'm like, okay. But what I was nervous about was that I didn't think people were going to believe me since I'm writing a story and the connection with them. I'm not in the limelight as they are. So I'm like, okay, they're just going to bypass this. And the producer of CNN called me and was like, you wrote this story. How do you know them? Is this true? Is this true? And then they contacted Cherry and Dennis, and they had to literally verify that they knew me and that I wasn't making up a story.
Right.
And then they blasted it everywhere, and it just went viral from there. And I was just like, oh, my gosh. My email was going crazy because every time somebody leaves a comment, I get it in my email.
You get an email. Right.
Yeah. So I'm getting like 400 emails, 400 people leaving these comments, and I'm just like, oh, my gosh.
Right. So. I think the one thing that I have to say about it was crazy. I was reading some of the comments on CNN, and I'm just like, what is wrong with you people? Just...
Well,
there was a lot of people that were supportive, but then a lot of people were just kind of just ignorant as heck, and they're like, did he have his pants down and all that kind of mess? I'm like, seriously? Is this really the conversation we're having right now?
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, the thing we have to realize when reading articles off of CNN and other websites and stuff like that is that people can be really hateful and nasty just because. And, like, they're internet bullies. I bet you won't say that to my face. I double dog dare you. Bam, shot fired. I'm just saying, So when I read the article and I saw the negative comments, I was like, y'all got me bent like fruit rollers if you think you just going to discredit this girl's credibility. You're going to talk about this chick who was on Full House and her man because you don't think this happened. Are you serious? You got
me. Oh, they bashed me too. They bashed me too.
Wow.
Sugar, I would have hired some bodyguards. I was like, rolled up on me if you want to.
What? It's funny you say that. I was in the house, and I was like, Dad, like, people are really going in on me. And he was like, oh, I got to be your bodyguard in case somebody try and kidnap you and make you write a book. And make you write a book like they did on Misery.
Oh, my gosh.
I was like, what? But, I mean, I did get a couple emails, and I got a couple, phone calls of people just saying stupid stuff, but it wasn't as nearly what they went through.
Right.
Like it's nothing like, experiencing that. And I personally want to thank you for being brave enough to step out and be like, okay, take a leap of faith, and I'm just going to write it, and whatever comes at me, comes at me. Because a lot of writers are scared to write because of what people are going to think or what they're going to say. But as a writer and as artists, we have to realize that it's not about what people think. It's about speaking and telling our truth, whether it be on paper, whether it be in jewelry, whether it be our vocals. Like the truth has got to go. And I applaud you for that, because knowing me and myself, I would have 16 plastic knives on me everywhere I go.
And you know what? I was nervous. I'm not even gonna lie. When I went to upload it, I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is either gonna make or break me, emotionally.
Right.
And it was just like, wow. Just for it to go viral. And I'm like, well, people reading my stuff, like, y'all finally realizing the skills that I got as a writer. Like, that's how I felt.
Right.
But I wanted their story to be told. And I'm glad, with them being my friends, I'm glad that they came to me for me to tell their story. Because if it was me, I would want somebody to tell it.
Right. Not sugarcoat it, not add a couple words to make it, just tell the truth. Like, there's nothing wrong with telling the truth. Nothing wrong with it. And, like, I think that, because you said you were writing since you were 15, I think that years of experience of you practicing writing, from poetry to short films to now writing articles for CNN, your writing has got to be good for people to see and then to be calling you, be like, hey, we read this, and we just wanted to know that this is true before we just plaster it out on Showbiz Tonight and BET and ABC and 1, 2, 3 networks, because ain't nobody gonna pick up on it till after CNN broke it.
Oh no.
I know. Yeah, and I just couldn't believe it because, they were tweeting it to everybody. I'm tweeting to Oprah. I'm tweeting to Don Lemon. I'm tweeting to everybody, check out my article. This is sad. This needs to stop.
Right.
And I would have done it if it happened to you two. And you two called me and was like, Crystal, can you report this? This is what happened. This is what I went through. I still would have blasted it. And a lot of people were thinking, oh, well, she's just doing that because they're celebrities. At the end of the day, they put on their pants the same way I do, with one leg.
Absolutely.
One leg first.
Wow.
And that, the issue that I had with people, criticizing and saying stuff. And I'm like, oh, well, how did you get that story? And I'm like, if you do your research, you would know. I've been working with Cherry for a long time. Like, I've covered her story. I've interviewed her on several occasions with the positive stuff that she's doing. But no one looks at that.
Right. Of course not.
You know what I'm saying?
No, the first thing they think is,
Wow. Well, with me and Denia knowing Cherry, we know how she's like. She's spontaneous and courageous. And when we read the story, we were heartbroken for her because we were like, why would this happen to Cherry? As much as she's done for the community, as much as she's done in films and in her writing and her books. Plug, shout out Cherry Johnson. If y'all don't have her book on Amazon, I'm going to need y'all to go get it. Amen.
Oh, but, Peaches and Cream, Stupid Guy Diaries.
Right.
Let me tell y'all, I typesetted that book, Peaches and Cream, off the chain. Go get it.
Yes. It's amazing.
Shameless plug. But seriously, like, all that she's doing for us as fans and in the industry, and for that to happen to her, it broke my heart. I was like, no, you got me bent like fruit roll-ups.
Yeah. I mean, it was crazy because I remember she was tweeting and Facebooking when it happened, and I was like, wait, did she just say she got pulled over? Wait, did she say they're in handcuffs? And then, like, the more I'm reading, I was like, what do you mean they were in handcuffs for an hour? Oh, my goodness. And I think Baby Girl said it best when she said that, people think, like, oh, it's just, celebrities don't have this happen to them. A lot of them won't say anything. you know, because
Right.
they're
Yeah.
embarrassed. Because they're like, what do you mean you don't know who I am? What the heck? You know, but it's not about that. It's the fact that
And
you
not
are an
only
African-American
that,
person in a nice car, and that's what happens.
right.
That's what
And not
happens.
only that, but when it happens, people are conditioned to stay shut because, for one,
Absolutely.
okay, they feel that they don't have finances to see it fully go through with court costs and everything like that.
Yep.
And then, two, it's happened so much that they don't think it's wrong anymore because it's
Right.
considered the norm now after so many
Mhm.
years. But racial profiling, it's not cool. Not cool at all.
And it still exists. No matter what people may say, it still exists. Case in point, Trayvon Martin's case. And that's true.
Yeah, that was
Man.
bad. And I didn't like how they put his body on screen like that during the
Yeah,
court.
that was
I didn't
craziness.
Listen, appreciate that at all. Like, have
Listen.
respect.
All of my Facebook friends counted on me for commentary on the whole trial, which I did from beginning to end. And from the time it started, June 10th in the hospital room, to the time it finished, I commentaried on everything. And when they showed the body, I was like, you got me bent. Like, I would have just snapped on the prosecution,
Yeah.
the tall dude looking like a bald Smurf. I was hot.
I would have lost it too.
Yeah, it was craziness.
But you know what? God has the final say.
Absolutely.
God truly has the final say.
And karma will get Mr. Zimmerman. I'm counting on it. You right. If you don't believe it, ask O.J. Simpson. He got arrested and put in jail for taking back his own stuff.
Well.
I know.
And Crystal Diggs is our guest on Ladies Night Radio. A couple quick questions before we let you go, Miss Lady. Oh, my gosh. So what is your social media like? Do you have a website? Are you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff, Miss Lady?
I'm not into the Instagram. I can't get into it. I mean, all people do is take selfies all day. It's like, what? Do you work? What do you do? But
listen.
She said they all take selfies all day.
What do they do? What do they do sometimes?
Exactly.
Oh my
but I
God.
am on Twitter at Crystal1, and I am on Facebook, Crystal Diggs, and my name is spelled Krystol, Diggs, Diggs, like Tay Diggs. I don't know if we're relation though, but I'm gonna say so. No.
I would. It gives me more followers. I would so put it out there. You know, I may or may not. I was like, I may or may not be related to Tay Diggs, but I'm not going to tell you that. So if you really want to know, you can just follow me, and I'll let you know.
What? Both chocolate. It's some kind of resemblance. A little bit. You never know.
Just a little bit, you know, just a tad, right in the nose and lip area, just a little bit, just a smidge. Oh my goodness. Okay, so with this new documentary that's coming out, and I know you said that you're going from state to state to state, do you have any clue where the states that you guys are going to be shooting?
Washington, D.C.,
Okay.
Chicago, New York, Florida, and a few other places. It's going to be like big. Of course, places down south. Of course, we definitely are thinking about hitting up Marion County too.
Oh.
Hey.
Yeah.
You got it going on, sugar. But now when you go to Florida, and if you just decide to be around the Sanford area, let me know, because I will drive the 2 hours via Greyhound, and I got you.
Okay.
Just make sure you got some food in my system.
You know what? I will do that.
Thank you. I see. I feel the love. Hey, you cook for me, I cook for you. Ta-da! That's the exchange. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have had an awesome time tonight. Let us know when that documentary comes out, Walking
I
While Black,
will.
so we can definitely check that out. We definitely want to have you back on with the producer and everything once that drops, because I think that's going to be good. So thank you so much for coming on, Ma. Much love and all of your
Thanks
continued
for
success.
having me.
Now we'll talk to you soon. This is Ladies Nightly Radio. We're going to play a 3-piece set, and then we will be back. Love y'all.
Thank you for listening to the #1 radio station for the people.